A mortgage. So, for example, how much do we want our house to cost?
$20,000.
What are you living in, a tent?
69,867.
What are you living in, a trailer?
Hey, I was looking at houses when I was working about it.
Most houses don't go for that. They go for $250,000. Yeah, if you're looking at a new construction house, you're not even talking anywhere below $250,000. Okay, so I just want to show you what happens when a young couple goes out, they have decent jobs, and they go buy a house that costs $250,000. All right, the bank wants 15% down, and will, let's say the mortgage rate is 3.7%. Let's say it's a decent rate. If they put 15% down, they'll give them 3.7%. Oh, by the way, the more money you put down, the lower your interest rate will be, because you're reducing the cost of the house. Plus, when you get a mortgage, if you don't make your payments, the bank takes over your house. That used to be a bad thing. My neighbor took off on his house. One day he was there, the next day he was gone. It was very weird. All right, 15% down, mortgage, 3.7% for
30 years.
Most loans are 30 years. Refinance loans are usually 15, possibly 20. All right, even 10. They'll do 10. What is the principal? In other words, how much money are they going to mortgage out? How would you find that out? Well, if they're putting 15% down, they must be paying 85% of the loan. So you're going to go 0.85 times $250,000. They're paying 15% down, so they have to mortgage out 85% of the cost. How much? $212,500. Still a lot of money. So this is going to be their principal. Okay. From that and the nice little formula, we should be able to figure out the rest. So the formula starts off with P equals big R. I know this is going to be 12, so I'll just put 12 there. Little r, parentheses, 1 minus, parentheses, 1 plus, r over n raised to the negative nt, where n is 12. You know what's really sad is I've memorized this formula. Comes in useful, though, for me, you know. So, for me, do I know what the principal is?
Yes.
We have this ugly mouse. $212,500 is equal to, I do not know what my required payment is. That's what I'm looking for. 12, maybe I should change the interest rate. 3.7 is kind of low. I think they're a little higher now. 5? Let's say 4.9. Let's get rid of that. 3.7, let's change it to 4.9. That seems more reasonable. Okay, so divided by 0.049, parentheses, 1 minus, parentheses, 1 plus. That gets a little weird. It's parentheses 1 minus, parentheses 1 plus. R over n, 0.049 divided by 12 raised to the, now this is easy, 12 times 30. It's going to be 12 times 30. That's negative 360. To purchase a house with a 30-year loan, you're going to make 360 payments over the life of that loan. 360 of them. Okay. So type all the junk next to R. Get a number. So let's see. That would be 12 divided by 0.049 parentheses 1 minus parentheses 1 plus 0.049 divided by 12. Raised to You don't have to follow my voice and type it in. Oh, I'm sorry. Shh. 188.42. Well, you're do it again until you get it, Miss Pajamas. What's that? 188.42.
Mine said didn't take care of it.
188.4201. No. 4210. 4210.
I'm getting nervous.
1 plus 0.049 divided by.
Look, Mr. Moore, am I supposed to carry the minus 3 plus?
So that's what I did.
No.
So I need to divide this out.
Mr. Moore, do I carry the
Caret negative 360.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and there's an R here. So now you divide both sides by that number,
Okay, I gotta break.
and you end up with a required monthly payment, no taxes, no insurance, no nothing added on to this except how much it's going to pay back the mortgage. So 1127.79 per month. So this young family that purchased a $250,000 house, put down a down payment, brought it down to $212, is still going to be paying $1,100 a month. That's a lot of money. It is. It is a lot of money. Even better though. Oh, even better than that. Even more. Ready? Check this out. Let's find out how much of this is going to be interest over 30 years. So, first thing, total installment is going to equal that monthly payment times the number of payments all together. So it's your monthly payment times the number of payments will give you your total installment. This turns out to be, just give me digits.
406.
It's the number of payments you're making.
406.
And you're making this many, you're paying $1,000 a month,
Never mind.
every single month for 30 years. How much is it?
406.
406.
004.
In other words, they bought a house for $212,000. The amount of interest, this is just the, this is the amount they're paying back total. It's double. They're paying back double. To find out the interest, you take those two numbers and subtract them. So what's 406 whatever minus 212 whatever?
A lot.
Well, yeah, it's about
190.
300 and 406 minus 212.
There's not like 190.
193,504.
193,504. That's close enough. $193,000 just in interest. In other words, you're paying more in interest than, well, about as much as interest as your house cost to begin with. Now, if the interest rate was about 7%, you pay about double, a little bit more than double in interest. So you pay triple the cost of your house over the period of time. Now, is that a bad thing? Well, it depends on how you look at it. My parents, when they bought their house back in 1960, in 1960, they paid, I think it was $10,000 for it. But that was back in 1960. The house today is worth about $125,000. So, and we made an addition to the house, and that was like 10 years after they bought it, and the addition cost $15,000. So the original house cost 8 or 9 or 10, and the addition, just one room, $15,000. But that's what happens. As time goes by, money becomes worth less, and therefore it's going to cost you more to buy things. So if you went back just 10 years, buying a house might have been, the big price would have been $150,000 instead of $250,000. 10 years from now, it'll probably be, and so forth and so on.
Mr. Clark, you lost me at the bottom.
How did I lose you at the bottom?
How you get home?
This? Okay, ready? This is just basic finance. You paid out $406,000.
Okay.
But you only borrowed $212,000.
Okay.
So how do you find the interest?
To try to.
Thank you.
But I didn't get it out of my pocket.
Well, I can't help that. I'm only up here for theoretical mathematics. All right, here's the other cool thing. How much interest was in first payment? If we're talking about this loan, and they're borrowed $212,000, and they have this monthly payment of $1,100 a month, how much of that $1,100 was just for the bank's interest? Well, that's easy to find out. You go I equals P times R times T. You're talking about 1 month, 1 payment, it becomes simple interest. Other than that, you have to be very, very careful. So, interest is equal to, well, you borrowed $212,500. The interest rate was 0.049. And this is just for 1 month. What's amazing is what this number equals.
$867.70. No, wait a minute.
No, that can't be right. Oh, I put a divide here. Times. Divide by 12. $867.71. $867.71. This is just interest. Your monthly payment was $1,127.79. But the bank wants $867.71, which reduces your principal by a whopping $260.08. Your principal, after that first $1,000, is only going to get reduced by $300. Kind of sad, huh? And the higher the interest rate, the more goes towards the interest.
That's why you double your payments.
That's why what?
You double your payments every month.
If you can. Or just add in anything. $25 will even make an impact over 30 years. Just a lousy little $25 extra a month. Or some people take this number and they don't want to send a check in for this much, so they write $1,200. And then anything extra is going to reduce your principal automatically. But a lot of, you have to be careful with that. A lot of mortgages would rather you have that as a separate payment. Because then you have to kind of write on it for principal instead of for, because they could take it and pay the interest with it.